Hello and welcome to our flower of the month, which is the peony. So we're into May and everybody's absolute favourite is the peony, especially for weddings, but they can be quite notoriously difficult to predict on their opening and their development times. So we've got quite a nice variety of peonies here from different parts of the world. We've got the Sarah Bernhardt, that's an Israeli peony. We've got Coral Charm here and Red Charm. They are both Dutch. And then we've got Monsieur, Jules, which is French, and Duchesse de Nemours, which is also French. So these peonies came in 4 days ago. These have been left to develop naturally, and these have actually been held back. So you can see the development stages. Now, as I said, everybody loves peonies. They are a real wedding favourite. The shape, the fragrance, they kind of promote love. The symbolism is luxury, hope, love, happiness, health. They have been linked with health benefits, but I won't go into that simply because I don't want to give people false information. But yeah, they are notoriously beautiful. Everybody loves them. But yeah, they can be a bit tricky to work with sometimes on their development stages. So I'll explain a little bit more later on how that works. So there are about 3,000 different varieties of peony, believe it or not. They are quite weather dependent, that's the only thing. And the ambient temperatures will definitely have an impact on what stage they arrive to us in. Now, this is the problem that we encounter. We don't always know at what stage they're going to be in when they arrive with us. So it's really difficult for us to give you correct information on when to purchase, when to get them delivered, and so on and so forth. So we always would suggest that you give us a call the week before you want to purchase peonies, and just have a word with us, and we'll give you guidelines on when to order, and we'll have a little bit of a better indication at that point as to what stage the peonies are arriving with us in. And the weather, of course, obviously will have an impact to that. So just always give us a call and we'll advise as best we can. The season kind of runs from April to July, so mid-April to sort of mid-July. In May they're grown indoors, June they tend to be outdoor grown. The outdoor grown ones used to be a lot stronger than the indoor grown ones, but I have to say, having visited a peony grower in Holland recently, that is definitely not the case anymore. So they are absolutely beautiful. Out of season they're grown in Israel, New Zealand and Chile. They do tend, however, to be a slightly lesser quality and much more expensive when they're out of season. So yeah, bear that in mind. There are alternative flowers. We do tend to recommend that when they are out of season, possibly go for a Colombian garden rose, which has a very similar format. So when your peonies arrive, if you think they're starting to open a little bit more quickly than you'd hope for, the best thing to do is to hold them back. Now, to do that, some brown paper, well, it doesn't have to be brown paper, but it does need to be paper. Don't use cellophane, because cellophane actually encourages moisture. It keeps the moisture within the flower and actually encourages rot, mold to form, mildew to form. So yeah, definitely keep with the paper. And then lay the peonies with the heads all tightly close together, and then wrap them quite gently but quite tightly and then take them and keep them like that. So you can see that they're very securely bound, and that's actually going to force pressure to stop them from opening. Then I would suggest perhaps the morning of the wedding or the night before, just remove the paper, and as soon as you open it, they will spring open. So that's how to hold them back. Obviously cut and condition them, pop them into a cold, dark environment. The cooler, the darker, the less they'll open. the lighter, the brighter and the warmer the environment, the more they'll open. So there's obviously a little bit of common sense there when they arrive. It's a judgment call really. Decide whether you think they need to be held back and kept in the cold, or if they're like this, put in the warm and forced open. So that's the other issue we have with them arriving too tight. So one way to persuade them to open, you see the little calyx here, bend it back against your finger. So it's being bent in the wrong direction almost. I can just gently show you how to do that. And finally this one. Okay, so that's actually removing the sepal so it won't contain the peony, and then you can gently tease, stroke the petals open, and gently bend them back on themselves, and then pop that into blood temperature water. And that's actually helping it to force it open. Seems a bit cruel, I have to admit, but it does work. You're literally removing almost the cap, if you like, that's actually holding that bloom together. The other thing you may occasionally encounter, but this peony's got a bit of a sticky residue around the outside of it. That's quite normal. That does occasionally happen, but it is a little bit detrimental to the bloom in the respect that that stickiness almost acts like a glue and holds the sepals tight, which therefore stops the bloom from opening. So best thing to do is give it a bath. So dunk it or run it under a cold tap. Just remove that stickiness and then just dry it very gently, and you'll find sometimes you get quite a lot of dirt. It feels like dirt that's coming off it, and you can see that, but it's actually, because it's so sticky, it's sort of rubbish that's wind blown and stuck to it. Occasionally you do get a little bit of mould forming from the sticky residue. But once you've removed that stickiness, dry the peony and then just repeat the process that I did for the red charm, and then remove any of the leaves that are going to be below the waterline, cut the peony at a sharp angle and then slit the stem up, just basically because this exposes more cells to the water. Therefore, more water can go up the stem that little bit more quickly and aid the flower in its opening. Stay tuned for some inspirational ideas on what to do with your peonies and some lovely designs to create. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye for now.